thank you again for seeing me and spending the time. We just tasted the 2012s, which I thought was actually quite impressive. We've heard so many challenging conditions, especially during the spring. Can you describe some of the main challenges that you had in 2012, the growing conditions?
Yeah, indeed, the main challenge was the spring, which was very wet.
Yes.
So the real challenge was a viticultural challenge. By, first of all, with such a wet spring, nice. It's hard to maintain the vineyards and the grapes in very healthy conditions. Yes. And all the more because we had decided this year to go for pure organic farming. So, yes. So it was really challenging, but I'm glad we could manage it. It requires much more work, much more attention to all the details. But
you had to do more sorting during harvest time?
Not really, no. No, actually, no. Because thank God, after that wet spring, we got a wonderful summer, which is by far the most important factor of success for any vintage. I've known a few great vintages with very wet springs, starting with 2000, for example. Yes. But I have known great vintage without a great summer. And 12 enjoyed that wonderful summer, wonderful drought, starting mid-July, ending 20th of September, and then moderate rains until it started to rain hard, fortunately, when we had finished harvesting.
Yes, and you mentioned October 15th as kind of the
date. It's turning point.
Where everything, at least Chateau Margaux, is harvested.
Yeah. Yep.
Great. The wines are looking beautiful, and I especially love the 2012s.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, really.
Thank you.
I think the whites are refreshing, light, and balanced with wonderful aromatics and precision.
And I think the reds combine what makes Chateau Margaux unique in the small world of the great wines. A lot of density, because 12, thanks to that deep drought in summer, reached an extraordinary level of concentration, up to the best historical levels of the greatest vintages, but also with that extraordinary softness, and that the combination of both is something which has always made Chateau Margaux so famous for. That how can you be so dense and so soft
at the same time? And you mentioned that's one of the major evolutions at the chateau over the last 20-30 years.
Yes, because
this combination of density and softness. Tell us some of the main reasons and the main things you attribute to that.
Well, we pushed the potential of our genes further. Because Chateau Margaux has always been famous for that. But I think that usually, in the old days, it lacked a little bit of density and had that softness. So what we tried to do, and of course we were served by great conditions since the last 15 years. I mean, most vintages have been either good, very good, or great. No mediocre ones. So first of all, we're served by a great climate. And also by more technology, and we could say, well, plenty of reasons we could detail them, but we could gain much more density in our wines than we had before, and even more softness. So we just pushed our gifts further, and 12 is a good example. The greatest examples, I think, is 10.
Yes.
But 12 is not far in style. It hasn't got that magical touch, which makes 10 such an extraordinary vintage. But it's pretty much built the same way, with lots of density without any aggressivity.
It had great structure.
Yeah, yes, definitely.
And freshness. So what was the acidity level in 2012?
Pretty much the same as 10. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's a good level. It's not very high acidity, but it's certainly not low acidity.
Great. And tell us about this wonderful, I guess, a profile of what we're going to expect in the future.
No, it's certainly what's happening, and which is extremely exciting, at least for us now, because we've been working on this project since the last 3 years.
So we are here.
We are right here, of course, in the first floor, in the garden level of the chateau. And no, this is may I say, a revamping of Chateau Margaux. the dimension of what we are going to do is unprecedented since the last 200 years, since the buildings were built.
And has it started?
It has started. Okay. It has started with our old orangery, 18th century, which is which is the oldest building left in the property from the old buildings before all the other ones were built. That was built in 1765, so almost 250 years. And we have restored it in its original spirit, so like an 18th century orangery. And I'm very proud of the building because it's so beautiful and so special. And then, of course, more importantly, we plan to build, for the first time since the last 200 years, we plan to build a totally new building. And the world-famous architect Norman Foster, who is responsible for all these changes and, of course, for this building, which will be both an extension of the red winemaking cellar, which is right here, and also will be used for the white wine. The white wine will be brought back to the heart of Chateau Margaux. Now, it's been, since the last 30 years, it has been made in a different building since 1980, which is not far. It's more or less here. It's 300 meters far. But we want to bring the white back to the heart of Chateau Margaux. It's because Pavillon Blanc and the white wine, before it was named Pavillon Blanc, is such an old tradition here. It goes back for 100 years. So we want really to bring it back to the center. And so this building will be, of course, technical, an extension of red wine making, because we want to use more small tanks. We want to push the selection further. And to do that, we need more small tanks. The same tanks will be used for the white as well, and we will have a barrel cellar. And very importantly, and very symbolically, I think, at the very center of the building, we will have the most modern R&D center you can dream of.
For both the reds and whites.
For both red and whites, because we since more than 10 years, we've created that R&D department. We've made a lot of
like a laboratory?
Oh yeah, and we do many experiments in the vineyards, and then we want to check the results with experimental vinifications, small tanks, and we've done that so far in well, good conditions, but we really want to create exceptional conditions for following up our investigations. So, and that will be really in the center, and everything will be totally transparent. So all the walls will be glassed. Yeah, absolutely. So because we have nothing to hide, neither what we do nor what we want to do in the future.
But you're going to get a flood of visitors.
Well,
you're going to have to manage.
To welcome them, we have decided to restore this old building here, which was used as the orangery before restoring that one. And this big building here will be totally restored to welcome the visitors, because today, I mean, we try to welcome them well, but we haven't got the facilities. So we will have now wonderful facilities to visit the center. And among many things, we will have here a new underground wine library, which is going to be huge, 18 meters long.
More wines, like some of the other properties?
No, we don't. But just think that for our own private collection, we keep bottles, and every year and we don't drink them. So we want our successors to enjoy that wonderful collection in 50 years' time. We want them to be able to drink, not to sell, because we don't keep enough, but to drink 12, to drink 10. Can you imagine 10 or 9 in 50 years' time? And today we are unfortunately not in that position to serve such old vintages as we would wish to. So that's a commitment to them and to the long-term success of Chateau Margaux, which is exactly what we are committed to.
Congratulations. I'm hoping to come back in 2015 for the grand opening.